Well, and howdy, everybody. Welcome to the monthly show we call Anime Odyssey, where we talk anime. We choose a show, we talk about it, we have fun with it, and then we talk about some topics that have gone on during the month. As always, I'm joined by the Dermy Wormy, who says Iskandar was cheated. Dermy, how you doing, champ?
Iskandar was fucking cheated, man.
We'll
Love
get to
Iskandar.
that. We'll get to that. How you doing?
Oh, I'm alive. I'm here.
Alive.
No,
Have you?
dealing with what I have to deal with. So
Have
I did tweet it out. Yes, I had to put down my oldest pet of 10 years today, and it's been a rough one. Okay, I had to.
Well,
Not something I wanted to deal with. So
take solace in the fact that, like me, you're making Doctor Who stands cry.
True.
They are salty.
Oh, they are coping so hard.
They are. We'll talk about this later. They are so salty right now. You know what? I love it. We're not here to talk that. We talked about that yesterday. If you haven't watched it, it's still up. Go watch myself, Derby, and Ryan from Legion Talks discuss the tragedy that is Doctor Who. Without that stream is still there. But we are joined this month. Sorry, I was just saying week. This month by our good friend Devil made me do it. Devil, how are you?
I'm doing well. Just got, getting over the Christmas. So
yeah, but it's New Year. It's New Year's, and it's still that little bit of holiday season left to us. And I hope that everybody had a Merry Christmas if you were first joining us for the first time this week. And I hope you're going to have a Happy New Year. And before we get going, I just want to apologize. I am off camera because the wiring in my building still sucks, and it's decided to do the thing where it won't upload correctly. Therefore, I cannot be on camera, and hopefully it will correct itself again for a while in a week or so, and we can get back to normal. Either way, thank you one and all. Chat, hail and howdy to the chat. We hope you guys enjoy the rest of the show, whether you're watching live now or on the replay, or I guess the re-upload. Hit that like button, leave a comment, let us know what you think, and let's get on with the show. We got a good one for you today, guys. We are going to talk Fate Zero, the prequel for Fate Stay Night, Unlimited Blade Works, and Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel. Now, I'm going to make the statement about this when we get forward. After that, we're going to talk about 2 or 3 topics. One of them, it happened earlier this month. Netflix is going to burn all its good One Piece will, and it's going to now produce its own One Piece anime adaptation called The One Piece. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the fact that the creator of Gundam gives the giant middle finger to Hollywood. It's funny as hell. And also some other Gundam stuff that's related that I know Dermy and I we just shake our heads at it. It's retarded. And at the same time, Western localizers, woke Western localizers are crying and triggered and wetting their beds because the manga and anime industry are saying, hey, you know what? We're going to use AI to translate this stuff. So you can take your changes and go stick it in your ear. So we'll get to that in the topic discussion of it. Anyway, so as I said, we are going to first talk Fate. I always want to say Fate. No, it is Fate/Zero. Fate Zero, the prequel. The only thing that is the immutable, unchangeable piece of the lore material, because this is what happens.
This is how it begins before all the other fates.
Yeah. This is how it goes. And
the other 3 fates.
The other 3 branches. There's the Fate, there's the Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven's Feel, or as I just call them, Saber Rin Sakura. I mean, because that's what it was based on, a visual novel where you can romance one of the 3 girls, and that decides your adventure. And
listen, Rin is nice, but Sakura all the way.
Oh no, Rin is best girl. Rin is best girl. But we'll talk about that next month when we do Dermy's Choice, because Dermy wanted to keep going. Next month, I'll tell you right now, guys, we're doing Limited Blade Works next month. We're going right into my personal. See, Dermy chose it, but Unlimited Blade Works, UBW, that's my favorite route. That's my route. I love it so much because I am a Rin simp. It just works that way. But they all get progressively darker as you go forward. Let's be honest. Fate Zero. This thing's a beautiful. It's a beautiful tragedy.
Yeah. I would say the entire Fate saga is a beautiful tragedy because it follows the hero's journey, basically to a T, almost every single time.
Mm-hmm. And in the Fate route, the Saber route, it's a bit of a lighter ending.
Mhm.
In the Unlimited Blade Works route, the Reen route, it's a little more realistic, and it kind of fits better, in my opinion, with Zero. And
I would say even the Reen route and Unlimited Blade Works route, it would still be like very nice. It's a very
oh,
good
it's a good
ending.
ending. But it's got a little bit of a twinge to bittersweet. We'll talk about it next month. And then Heaven's Feel. Heaven's Feel is all fucked up. That
Yeah.
one is all fucked up. Some people love that one the best though, for some reason. I don't understand why. But that's another time. Devil, this is your first time watching Fate Zero, wasn't it?
Yes.
How do you feel as we begin this? How you feeling?
Geez, like, okay. I'm pretty new to anime, so like I'm milk toast, I guess you would say. About it. I'm One Piece, Naruto and stuff, and then I watched this and I was like, "Oh my god, it's heinous."
This
Like
is
you have a
hard.
serial killer that kills children and I'm like,
I know. The Fate franchise, listen, when I started watching Fate franchise, there was just Fate Stay Night and there was just the Unlimited Blade Works movie. That's all there was.
This was the first outing in Fate I ever had.
So you technically started at the beginning, yet not at the beginning.
Yes.
And yeah, so I went back and I watched this after I had seen Fate Stay Night and then the remake, which is what we're going to watch next month, of Unlimited Blade Works. They went from not a movie but to a full 25 episodes. And listen, it was Dermy that invited Devil this month. So Devil, this is not my fault that to have you get thrown into the deep end. Because let's be honest, this is deep end anime. This is not starter anime. This is not mid tier. This is deep because Fate Zero is so hardcore with everything it deals with every single character is got so much depth to them. The story is so much over. It's littered with the Easter eggs for what's going to happen later on no matter what arc you look at, the Easter eggs are all there, and it's just got so much emotion and so much sad tragedy wrapped up in all of this that, as I said, it's a beautiful, glorious tragedy. And this is my third time watching it all the way through, and I love every minute of it. I love every single minute of it. I am a Fate fanboy. I want, every time I watch this, I want to watch all of it that there is, and it takes a lot of control not to do this.
I also love the concept
Mhm.
and they've built on the concept through other iterations of basically Fate as well, that you don't just get to summon a historical figure, you can summon
Anybody?
Like
Yeah.
you could literally summon video game characters and stuff to be your
That's
be
I
your
feel
character.
like
Video game character is a little stretch, but they do
Yeah.
have like Frankenstein. They have characters
well,
like that within the
literature.
actual
I can
lore.
understand that. I mean, to answer Vincer's question, I would say Dermy asked me this one, so I'm going to give the same answer I gave Dermy. I would summon Lubu from the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and I guess he would have to be Lancer because he wields basically a halberd. So he would end
Oh,
up
I know
being
who
probably-
Lubu is now.
I'm
took me a
not
little bit.
Lubu. I meant Guan Yu, not Lubu. Guan Yu. Although Lubu is way stronger than Guan Yu, but I love Guan Yu. But one of them. I mean, Lubu, if I wanted super strength, but he would be either one of them would be a Lancer class.
Berserker Beowulf.
Really?
Yes.
Why would
I love my
Beowulf be-
Riders. Rider is my favorite class, but Beowulf is my favorite
Why-
poem
But why would Beowulf be a berserker?
because he's actually a berserker in the
yeah, he
Fate
gets
lore.
butt naked and in fights and shit. That's kind of
I
a
don't-
berserker.
In the Fate lore,
he's
he's actually a berserker, and it would make the most sense due to his
I
characteristic.
read the actual poems, and he wasn't listed as a berserker in that, so that's why I was asking that. But
It's due to like his Viking mentality, and yes, the fact that he has fought a lot of people like butt naked and stuff, and used his own bare strength, like to.
Well,
fight
yes,
Grendel.
he fights Grendel with his bare hands. I mean, yeah. So, Devil, do you feel like you can give an answer to this right now?
If it's just heroes, I think
it's historical. Yeah, keep it historical. Let's not wade into video games.
God. Give me a minute on my answer.
Okay.
I gotta think.
That's okay.
It takes a little while to think
Don't
about
worry.
it.
Dermy and I have had years to think about this, and
Yes.
that's why when he asked me last week, I had an answer ready. I said Guan Yu, but I would go Lubu, obviously, because those those are just they're two beasts. They are beasts.
And when you make it that you can summon any historical character, it makes you start thinking about this and like, what are they known for? What are they going to be attached to? And then even on top of that, you have like different aspects. Because I'm not trying to throw Devil even a bigger curveball, but in
you got to think about your Noble Phantasm.
Noble Phantasm, but then even like in Fate Stay Nights, you have a different Lancer character who's also an Irish
also
hero.
an Irishman, yeah.
Who I can't remember his name, but it sounds Chinese, honestly, but it's Gaelic or Celtic, one of the two. In another iteration of Fate called Fate Grand Order, he comes back as a caster. So you have that aspect.
That was so interesting. That was an interesting take. See, I even know Guan Yu's what his Noble Phantasm would be. It's very simple. It would be the Brotherhood ceremony with Liu Bei and Zhang Li. Forget his name. It's been a while. And basically, Guan Yu Zhang Fei. Guan Yu, Zhang Fei, and Liu Bei have the swearing ceremony that they're going to be brothers forever. The tea ceremony, the famous tea ceremony in Romance of Three Kingdoms. That would be his Noble Phantasm, and he would summon Liu Bei and Zhang Fei, and they would fight with him. So that I even know his Noble Phantasm. I've given it some thought. But we are wandering off down the path of tangent land. So let's talk this. As I said, this is the prequel. And Devil, anytime you have an answer, just let me know. This is the prequel to the main storyline, where it is now the fourth Holy Grail War, and they have a really good build. One of the things I really like about Fate Zero is that compared to Knight and Blade Works and Heaven's Feel, these are the adults at work here. These are accomplished veteran mages, and there's that definite feel of this is how the adults wage war. And
you could also take it at, I'm not trying to do a tangent or anything, but this would be their last outing of like a proper
Grail War.
I'm trying to think of my word. A proper Grail War.
Yeah, because the fifth Grail War is an aberration because of the events at the end of here with Kirei and Gilgamesh, who are then going to go to work and do nasty, nasty things for the next 10 years. Because it's supposed to be every 60 years between a Grail War. And this is only, and the next one after this is only, I believe, 10 years later. Either way, it's, I love the grittiness of it. And I gotta say, this might be a controversial take. I like the servants better in Fate Zero than I do in Knight and Blade Works. They're more engaging.
I'd actually have to agree with you. Because my favorite class is Rider.
Yeah.
Rider in Unlimited Unlimited Blade Works and all that. And the 3 Medusa. Is Medusa.
Yeah.
And the only time I believe Medusa actually has like
is Heaven's Feel. She gets a little bit in Knight. She gets nothing in Blade Works. She gets aced real early on. But she is because here's the thing. In Fate Stay Night, the Saber takes over, Arturia takes over as the main servant again. In Blade Works, it's Archer. And in Feel, it's Medusa Rider. So it's a different main servant each time. Even though Saber still plays a large role in Blade Works, she's not the central figure like she is in Fate Stay Night. And now listen, as far as hotness goes, Medusa, she ranks up there, dude. Oh, Medusa is great. All the Fate Stay Night ladies are great. But yeah, so but when
you're also talking about how the
like
the servants interact and everything, they really interact within Fate Zero. Like you get almost every servant has a bit of a backstory that you start understanding and stuff. And you kind of get attached to some of them. I would say you get attached to a decent chunk of them. You get attached to Rider for sure.
The most. You get attached to Rider the most because his and Waver's relationship I would say it's the best relationship in the entire.
Then you have a course Saber who's like your main focus. You then have, you can even get to know a caster. You don't want to get attached to him, but you start figuring out why caster is the way he is. Gilgamesh is a piece of shit. Even Lancer, who's fucking
just wants to serve.
He literally just wants to serve, to own up for his for what he views is a sin to his actual story and everything. Then you get, for fuck's sake, Berserker gets shafted and it just wants to deal with
Well,
his shit.
I
And
know,
you
and
Berserker you don't get connected to, but you do once you figure out who he is, you get
when
those
you
like
when
bits
he
and pieces.
we could spoil it. We're talking about when
yeah.
I first watched this and he was revealed as Lancelot, I went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
I figured that out early.
Really?
I
How?
didn't know
Yeah.
that was gonna be Lancelot at
How did
all.
you
Because
figure it was Lancelot? Because first time I
Because when
watched
they
it,
were
I didn't
talking
know.
about Banished Knight and his kind of shaman shit and that he was a knight, I
Mhm.
went, I bet he's Lancelot, you know,
Hmm.
and his shame over what happened with Guinevere and stuff, and so I figured it out
Oh,
earlier
well,
than they
Devil
probably wanted
gets
to.
one over on me
Hey,
then, because I
you got
didn't
one
put
over
two
on
and two
me.
together when I first watched it. Geez, a decade ago now when I first watched this, I didn't get it. I was really surprised it was Lancelot, and especially because his Berserker is because his noble phantasm of taking things over was really unique, and the way it works is much different than when we get Hercules in the next routes. His take as Berserker is a lot different because this
Well,
Berserker is uncontrollable, but he's controllable by Ilya in the next one.
well, also they say that this iteration of Berserker isn't just uncontrollable. They
Insanity.
tainted him and
Yeah.
moved him to being the Berserker class.
Yeah,
He wasn't supposed to be a Berserker. He's actually a
You're
lance.
right.
He's actually a saber.
I guess you're right. Yeah. Because they threw the insanity in there to make
Yeah,
it,
he
but
was really.
yeah, but it was his entrance into it because that's what in episode 3 when you have the first round between Saber and Lancer, it's a great fight, and then suddenly everybody's there. Everybody's there, and they're all throwing pot shots and they're having great dialogue. And I'm just thinking to myself, watching this time, I'm like, wow, this is great. We're already in the thick of it. We're only 3 episodes in. And
Oh god,
Jeremy,
that first full fight. Oh
but
shit.
I'll come back. All right, we'll go there. About the fights themselves, UFO Table, they are a masterclass in combat animation. It is a thing of beauty to
beautiful.
watch because they account for every single movement. Nothing is wasted. They don't use repeat frames. I mean, that's what even some of our favorite anime of all time, they are guilty of repeating frames and repeating cells and this and that. But every frame is original. There's nothing repeated. Even when Saber is summoning Excalibur for her noble phantasm, it's still different both times. When she does all 3 times she does it in this, it's a different moment and a different animation version of it. And it's glorious. I love it. But that first fight, that's in episode 3. Now, I like it, and they started this with Unlimited Blade Works TV version, where they give you the 40-minute episode as an introduction. I love 40-minute episode introductions.
I'm indifferent to the one from Fate because it feels like it's
Fate
too
Zero
long and too
is
slow. Fate Zero. I
okay.
feel like it's just too slow on the
Oh, I
build
love
up,
it.
but how it
I
ends is
love it.
fantastic.
I love it
When they're
that
all summoning their heroes
yeah,
in different ways as well.
but the fact that you're getting this much interaction, and that's again what I love about this is the interaction, the dialogue. Every conversation means something. So especially when you get the backstories added in there, and it grows. I mean, Devil, off the top of your head, Derby's already said his in this. Who's your favorite master servant relationship in this?
I would have to say Ryder in this one. Like I haven't seen the other one, so I can't say on those.
No,
But
just this
Ryder,
show. Just this show. Don't worry about the other
yeah,
ones. Yeah.
Ryder. I think that even though he's really arrogant, and I hate that he's like so stubborn about it. Out of all of them, they're the only ones that came out kind of clean of just not being complete assholes in my mind. The kid, he does manipulate his grandparent, or is not really his grandparents, with magic, but they end up appreciating that. So he's not that bad, even though he starts out as a little prick. And he's the most funnest character. I don't really like the other ones too much. Like the Lancer was okay, but I think he gets screwed over with the having to commit suicide.
He totally gets screwed over. Oh, he does. He does. And it's terrible because I feel bad for Saber because he blames her and she had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And that also puts a rift into whole Saber's dynamic.
Well, Saber and
Kotomine. No, not Kotomine. It's
Kitsugiri. I keep
Yeah,
on. I
Kitsugiri.
I want to call him Emiya, but I have to save that when we're talking about Shiro next time. But Kitsugiri, they were never a good pairing because
Yeah,
of
they
her
were.
beliefs. That's why when she gets paired with Shiro in the next iteration, they are perfect for each other because of Kitsugiri's face turn to really going back to his roots of wanting to be a hero, and he passes that on to Shiro, and then Shiro wants to be a hero. And Saber is perfect for somebody who wants to be a hero, not for somebody who's just there to get their hands dirty
I
and do whatever it takes.
I'm gonna somewhat agree with you that they weren't meant for each other, but what I'm gonna push back on is I think they were required
Well, I
for
don't
one
mean
another
mean.
to
I
help.
didn't. I didn't mean meant for
Help.
each other. I just mean they didn't.
I,
They weren't a good pairing
yeah,
as master
there's
servant.
that, but I think they were required to be together to help further.
Mhm.
Fuck, I can never say that guy's name
What?
into become a hero again, into like
Oh,
pushing him to want to be good again.
Kitsugiri.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be able to
I
say
can't
his name
say it.
right.
I just
I
listen to
have his face.
just
I know
call
what
him.
he is.
I'll just call him Emiya because that's how I can easily Emiya.
Yeah, Emiya.
But it's they were see this is the problem. If you watch it as a prequel, you're not already familiar with Saber. If you watch things in release order, you already have an attachment to Saber. Just like you're already familiar with Gilgamesh and you already know where they're going with this stuff. And so I would recommend people start with Zero, but then I could also say you could also start with the Fate arc and then go back to Zero and then watch UBW and then maybe watch Heaven's Feel. I do not recommend Heaven's Feel. I'm not interested in that one.
I'm one of those guys that doesn't work. I always have to canonically start from the beginning.
Oh,
and
now
work
that
my
I
way
have
forward.
them, and I will start canonically now. But if you're getting into it, it's much easier to get into it if you watch Fate Stay Night and then go backwards. It's much easier because you already have attachment to Saber.
That's fair.
All right, I think I figured out mine.
Okay, what do you got?
It'll be one of two, either, and they might have been used before in one of the other shows.
Doesn't
so
matter.
Maybe
Doesn't
I'm wrong.
matter. Yeah.
It literally
Either
doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean,
Robin Hood,
okay.
definitely
Archer.
as Archer, obviously,
Definitely.
or I think it'd be cool to have what do you call him? Shit, I just got a brain fart. Braveheart.
Ooh,
William Wallace.
William Wallace. There you go. As
He'd be a-
I'm guessing,
I don't
Lancer.
think William Wallace has actually been
Either that or
used.
Berserker.
He'd be a berserker. He would be a
Yeah.
berserker because I would make William Wallace a berserker. Yeah.
I don't think William Wallace has been used yet. That'd
be cool.
Like I dive deep into Fate. Like I know a lot of the not in the anime, but a lot of the actual used characters, whether it's a video game or something like that.
Because there's a mobile game, and the mobile game Grand Order has literally every historical hero you can think of crammed into it.
I don't think William Wallace has been used yet, but Robin Hood has been used in a shitty version, but he was a cool character. I'm not gonna lie. That was actually a very cool version of Robin Hood.
Since we're talking about the characters, so Devil, since it's your first watching this, how do you feel about the fact that they gender swapped Arthur to Arturia? How do you feel about that?
That frustrated me big time. I have to be consistent. If I don't like it in, actual just regular TV, them race swapping things, I have to say it's same for anime. Especially when they had a perfect opportunity. She probably's been used before, but they could have brought in God damn, what why am I getting like a brain fart on name? What? Joan of Arc.
They've done Joan of Arc. She's a major player. She's the ruler class.
So it's like why did they need to do it? I don't know. It just frustrates me.
Well, I don't want to.
Well, I agree with you, Devil.
Sorry. Before Jeremy gives your point, I say I don't sweat it because this was done a decade before the woke shit started, and since it's based on a light novel or a visual novel, where the whole thing is to romance somebody and making Arthur into Arturia for romance purposes. I didn't sweat it. And I still don't sweat it, especially in another iteration where they bring in Mordred as her daughter, yet it's not her daughter, it's a clone. So
essentially how you need to think of it is within the world of Fate, and they do say this, it's a very hard line to catch on, but it's during, I think, episode 2, when they are discussing the fact that King Arthur came back as a woman. What the hell is going on here? They outright say that the Grail is what summons them. Okay. And the
Mhm.
Grail doesn't always do it perfectly. It's going to make these aren't actually King Arthur. This is just a representation of King Arthur. So that's how they account for like race changes or gender swaps. Like it's not actually King Arthur. It's not actually Mordred. It's not actually Nero. It's just a form that it is taking on some of their aspects and personas.
Yeah,
Okay.
or it's a
And it
timeline where
isn't perfect.
they pluck them from a multiversal timeline where they were that, because they do stress over and over again that she was a girl and she was forced to play the role of a man, and most people
Mhm.
didn't know she was a woman. Most people thought she was a
And
man.
a good way to actually show this is when they're having the dreams, and actually a wonderful representation of this is actually with Iskandar and
Mhm.
his guy.
Waver.
His like you just said it, Waver. Waver sees a dream of Iskandar, who's actually Alexander the Great,
Yeah.
Yeah.
getting all the way to the ocean, getting to see something that he's always wanted to see. But this iteration of but he's never actually been there, but he saw him going there. That's because the memories and everything aren't perfect. They're not perfect. They're not there. You see some of their dreams and stuff, some of who they are, what they've done, but it's still imperfect. So that's how it works. They do like give a reasoning for why she
Mhm.
can Saber can be a girl.
Have they ever used Achilles? Has he ever been brought
Maybe
in?
in the
Achilles?
games.
I
don't know.
don't think Achilles has been used. He might have been. I need to go back and look at the entire list because there's a massive roster.
It's when you get into here's the Grand Order is the one where they really make a massive roster. But if you want a one that isn't Grand Order, that's localized, Fate Apocrypha gives a great roster of heroic
Oh,
servants.
Apocrypha is wonderful.
It's self-contained. It's its own thing. That's where we get the first animated version of Joan of Arc as the ruler class who oversees that battle, and because they may
Oh no, it wasn't Achilles.
no where what
Vinz is saying Achilles was used in
really I don't remember Achilles
Apocrypha.
being
It wasn't Achilles. It was oh
here. Bring up the list. Bring up the
Gladiator
list.
who rose up and said, "I am Spartacus." Spartacus was used, not
Spartacus.
Achilles.
It was Spartacus.
Wait, no, he was used. Yeah, he was. Never mind. I'm thinking. I just thought of either the Lancer or the Rider for the bad guys.
Now, Apocrypha has it will
There's
instead
a
of
fuck ton.
well, there's
There's a
14
fuck ton.
servants. There's 14 servants in Apocrypha because it's a literal team war. Devil. They do a version where it's a team war where two sides each summon 7 servants. It's glorious.
And then you have technically one other servant and then
ruler. Joan of
you
Arc
have
ruler to
one
oversee
other
the whole thing.
ruler, but I'm not going to say anymore because
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. I do. It's a little bit. Apocrypha should be watched after you've watched everything else, so that you can take it all in, because they
and
put
then
a lot of stuff in there.
ignore whatever the fuck it was called with Nero.
Yeah, whatever that was. Yeah, that one wasn't good. She had great tits, but it wasn't good. All right, so back to Zero. This whole thing, for those who aren't really familiar, we've gone major tangent, but that's fine. It always is fine because we're having fun. Basically, the whole purpose of the Fate Stay Night lore is the Grail War, because you want the Holy Grail, who they believe it's a omnipotent wish giving device, and every mage in the Fate universe wants to get to the root of all magic so they can achieve perfection. That's every great mage house's dream. And what I really love about the Fate world is that even though the war itself has to take place in Japan, it's literally a worldwide thing.
Mhm.
There's the tower in England where the school is. There's great houses all over, because the is the Isvilia, or is I can never pronounce her name.
Einsvern, I know where you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to take place in Japan, but I
No,
think
that's where it has to. Fukuya is
Oh.
where it has to happen every time. That's where the Grail War happens every time.
Oh, I don't remember that, but I remember Einsburns. I remember
Well, they're in Russia.
yeah, they're in Russia.
They're in Russia.
You're talking about then there's the two Japanese
Einsburns.
families.
Yeah.
Fuck,
And
what
then
was her
there's
name? Reen Kodakime.
no,
Wait, is it
no,
Kodakime? No.
Reen is God damn it! Thanks to you now, all the names jump in my head. God damn it! All right, I got to bring them up. I want to pronounce them right. I just finished watching it.
The names jumble together.
Yeah, I'm having
I'm
such a bad.
horrible with names. I'm great.
I'm
with
normally
names. Like, I
fine.
can
It's
pick out
just
each one is who's working.
it's just
with
right now I'm going over so many of them. All right, Kiritsugu is that we've got Tosaka. Rin's
Tosaka.
Rin's surname is Tosaka.
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 Yeah,
Hey.
yeah, stop it. We all know Adam wants the Tosaka.
Since when?
Listen, you're over
I'm
here
not
saying
I'm not into
Reen is
feet.
best girl.
Reen is best girl.
No, it's
Reen
Sakura.
is best girl. Reen is best girl. Everybody knows this. No, Sakura's not best girl. Sakura's nice girl. It's torture. I mean, listen, again, this is dark. I mean, listen, the Tosaka family, they give away their daughter to the Mato family.
Mato was the other big house.
They give away their daughter. They give Sakura there in order to, because here's the thing. Reen's father, Tosaka Sr., he truly believes what he did was a good thing by giving over Sakura to the Matos. He truly thinks that it was a generous thing to do, because then she would have been cast out as an heir to the Tosaka magic, because Reen was the oldest and had as much magical power. So he actually thinks that's a good thing. And I can't, even though he's a son of a bitch, I don't hate him. You know?
I think he's a good dad. He wanted to do what's best for his family.
What he thought was best. I mean,
yes, what he thought was best. It was an awful move of what ended up happening. But you could also tell that it was hurting him.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, here's the interesting thing about this. Such an interesting cast of characters. And once you understand who the villains truly are, Kirei and Gilgamesh, they're villains through and through, and there's nothing redeeming about them. But I still love Gilgamesh.
Oh, I fucking hate Gilgamesh.
He's such an arrogant shit.
He cheated Iskandar.
Didn't
Fuck that bitch.
Cheat.
He cheated Iskandar. Fuck that bitch.
All right, I gotta look up the name of his sword. Hang on a second.
I'm not even talking about a sword. I'm talking about him deciding last minute to use chains from behind Iskandar to stop him.
No,
that's shit.
That's fair game. It's
part of bullshit.
It's part of his arsenal from the Gate of Babylon.
I don't give a fucking shit. It's bullshit.
His sword is a fucking barbershop pole. It's freaking, I hate that shit.
I'm trying to
don't like the look of the sword. I can't agree with that, but fuck that shit. That's a move of a fucking bitch attacking from behind. No, you face Iskandar head on. You be a man.
Oh, that's
he was man enough to charge you.
He actually calls the change Enkidu after the classic character Enkidu, his only companion.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, I'm looking it up, and Ea, his sword, the sword of rupture, a universe tearing class of noble phantasm.
Fuck him.
Yeah, but
fuck him,
dude. He's such a great villain.
Yes, he is a great villain. That's why I hate his ass.
And that's why he's
great.
The
fact that he killed Iskandar.
That's why he's great, because he doesn't apologize for what he is, and he maintains his villainy throughout every incarnation that we see him as, in every route. He maintains it, and that's why he's glorious, because that's the lost art of a villain. Him and Kirei, the lost art of villains.
I would say there is one route where he is not a villain and he's a hero.
Oh, that's in Grand Order, though, isn't it?
It's in one of the many Grand Order.
It's the last
there's
chapter.
So many issues of.
It's the last chapter of Grand Order, I believe.
You might be right. There's just so many different fate worlds that it's hard to follow. So all I know is he is kind of a hero, but he's a kid at the time, and he's battling like a female version of himself.
It's
who's
Hades.
A bitch.
I believe the final chapter of Grand Order is called Hades version, or the Babylon arc. I think that's what it's called, and it's been animated. I haven't watched it because I'm hoping one day they'll actually animate everything in order, and I can actually watch each chapter. They only animated 2 chapters, and they did it completely out of order. So I refuse to watch it right now. I want to, but I just love him as a villain, and I
He is
love
a
the
good villain. I can
and
give
I
you
love
that.
the Gate of Babylon as a noble phantasm, just firing off thousands of weapons. It's just it's so cool. It's such a cool thing, and
Devil,
his
what are your thoughts on Gilgamesh?
He's a beach.
Thank you.
No, he is like, okay, Alexander the Grey, very arrogant. Gilgamesh off the charts. Like, it just the whole time you're just all like, shut up, you son of a bitch.
But Alexander the Great's arrogance is also like one of his endearing charms because he is such an endearing character.
Charisma.
What charisma. Yeah, you have the charisma, and also he's very like just likable all the way around.
All right.
You want him to win.
Let
Yeah.
me ask you this then. The episode, I think it's episode. Let me hang on. Let me bring it up. The Conference of Kings episode. One of my
Yeah.
favorite episodes. Oh, I unplugged it. Damn. What do you guys think? That's the episode where Saber, Ryder, and Archer, or Arturia, Iskander, and Gilgamesh come together and have their basically sit down to decide who is the real king, who is the ultimate king, and Iskander's dressing down of Arturia. Dermy, how do you feel about that? Saying you're not your martyrdom king, your martyrdom ideal of a king is bad. Where he dresses her down. How do you feel about that?
I've always been torn on it because I somewhat agree with him, but at the same time I disagree with him. Because the whole thought process was you became a martyr, but in doing so you led your whole kingdom to basically die. It was done and over. Yes, Britain still exists, but Britannia, her iteration of it just fell off and everything, and now it's Wales. So you have this whole it's Wales now. You have this whole like back and forth, and you start thinking about it. It's like he's kind of right, but I hate seeing him do this to her.
I have my take on it. Devil, how did you feel about that entire episode? Because it's basically the whole episode.
I like the them sitting and drinking together, but I didn't like the tearing her down. I thought it's kind of arrogant to assume that the perfect way to be a king. I don't think there's really, one particular way. Each person just has their own thing, and hopefully you do a good job at it. So I thought it was kind of fucked that he teared her down and then sat there and said, "I no longer see you as a king."
Well, you also have to continue on, and I'll say my.
But I do appreciate that at the end, especially during the chase and stuff, he kind of gives way on that and gives her a little more credit.
Well, she kicks his ass.
Yeah.
You have that. What I will also say is you have to think where Iskander is coming from and the way he views combat. He's the king of conquerors. He's out there on that front lines and everything every time, and he just viewed her as kind of pathetic.
Here's the thing. Here's my take on this. You're absolutely right, Dermy. You describe Iskander, Alexander the Great. He is the king of conquerors because what did he do? He conquered and he moved on, and he left people behind to rule in his place. He never actually ruled. He just kept marching and marching and marching. Arturia was an actual ruler, and her martyrdom idea of a king was living for the people. And Iskander only lived for his army. And Gilgamesh thinks everybody needs to live for him.
Well, it is also who are you serving? Because when it came to Iskander, he's like, you're right. He served his army. His army was his people.
Yeah.
And it was this whole thought process of ideas versus reality. And it's very unique and complex.
I'm with you both. I feel as though his dressing down of Arturia was a little uncalled for, but that's what makes the scene so great because you want to like Iskander because he's got the charisma. His relationship with Waver is that great big brother, little brother type of thing. And then here he is suddenly acting like a complete jerk, especially if you're somebody who's watched all the other stuff. You already know who Saber is and you know what she's going through, what she really wants to do, and her other flushed out character arcs between here and the other routes. It's like, damn, don't talk like that to my girl. Don't talk like that to my girl. She's Saber.
Yeah.
Don't talk like that to her. But again, she doesn't get it. And it is even more bittersweet because when you get that moment when it flashes back in the final episode when she's back in her limbo on the mound of bodies, and we're getting to hear a little bit more of Lancelot said as he's dying back during the Grail War. He admits that while he wanted her to judge him, himself and every other knight at the round table loved her, and she didn't let them down. But she doesn't know that. And that's why it's so tragic that then she's trapped there on the mound, waiting unknowingly at this point to return for the next Grail War.
The same mound that she killed Mordred on.
Yeah. And it's just, that's why I said this. It's a beautiful tragedy, and you feel for every single one of them.
It's such a beautiful tragedy that technically the villains win.
In this first round, yes. In the prequel, Kire and Gilgamesh win, even though they didn't. They won by accident.
They win by default. We'll say that,
because what happens is, what happens is that Kiritsugu, he wins because he rejects the Grail. He rejects what he realizes is the dark path he set himself on, and then he actually does beat Kire. He beats him, and that's what I love about this, because I want to get to that part next. We'll take a step back from the servants and let's talk about the masters. Kiritsugu versus Kire. It's these two guys who circle each other for literally 24 episodes. How's that for a buildup? Kiritsugu is deathly afraid of this guy, and Kire is obsessively fascinated by him because he thinks they're the same in some way, and he'll have the answers that he lacks to understanding life.
They're also like, I don't want to say they're each other's counters, but they're also terrified of each other. Like, they've been planning each other out. They've been the ones that they're the most terrified to meet, because one's a trained mage killer, the other one's a trained, skilled.
Well, they're both they're both mage killers.
Yeah, they're basically they're both like high level
mage killer.
Yeah,
who was then trained as a mage.
Yes,
by Tosaka Senior.
Yes, they are dangerous. They're each other's counters, essentially.
Oh, Jay Fraser, you see, I have seen that. That is fantastic because it's basically Waver's show. Now, I've seen season 1. Is there? I thought there was going to be a season 2. Has it been released? I know.
Oh, this is the show you told me to watch.
Yeah, this is Waver's show. Yeah, because what it is it's Waver as an adult, because you see Waver as an adult at the end of Unlimited Blade Works when Reen and Shiro go to school, and he's there. You see him for a second, and then this isn't. I guess it could be in any timeline. I think I like to think it's Unlimited Blade Works, and it's his lifelong mission. He's dedicated himself to trying to find a way to resummon Iskander without being a part of the Grail War, because he still has his cloak piece that he used to summon him with. And he basically goes on mystery adventures in the magical world. It's fantastic.
I'm watching this.
You should watch it. Yeah, I mean, as a side story in the Fate world, it's surprisingly engaging because adult Waver, is everything that he wasn't as a kid. Super serious, complete dick, and it's glorious. I like it's so good. I highly recommend it. It really is good.
That's going to go on a big tangent on how I view Waver in the future, but let's not go there because I think there's a reason for him being the way he is.
But it's great. I really recommend it. It's a lot of fun, and when you watch it, you want to go watch more Fate stuff because it's like, man, I love it. It's fun, and it takes you outside the Grail War. That's why it's such a good story, because it puts you deeper into the world of Fate, where you get a look at the entire structure of the great mages and all the other magical creatures and everything that goes on there. So you'll have a lot of fun when you watch it. I guarantee it. I 100% guarantee it. As a fan of Fate, you'll love it.
As a fan of Fate and as a fan of
Waver.
Yeah.
As a fan of Waver. Yeah, so you'll like. I wasn't sure I was gonna like it. It's like, Waver, why do I want to just watch a show about Waver? And then I was thinking to myself, man, I'm enjoying the hell out of this. This is great. Because it's not so much a spoiler. There's just a one moment where he has a flash of seeing Iskander, and it just makes you get the feels, dude. You get the feels, and that's how you know you'll love it. I enjoy the hell out of that. Yeah. All right. So back to zero. So we're talking about the masters now, as well, Kiritsugu and Kirei as two masters. But as I said before when we started this, these are the adults at play. Now, Devil, you don't have the reference of the next round, which is basically the kids who go to war in a Grail War. How do you feel about all these different masters and what they're doing?
They like I said, it's funny because I'm so used to animes that have a distinctive hero and you're cheering for him the whole time. This one, like I said, the people, sometimes you think they're good, they end up being bad. Sometimes you think the bad and they end up doing good. It's very mixed up, but like I said, at the end, I don't think any of them are really good.
No.
Like genuinely good. They all are flawed, and some really, really, really flawed.
Well, that helps establish them as actually being characters. They're flawed.
Yeah. And it sets up for the drastic change when you get to the next round in the route split for Knight in Blade Works and Feel, because there are actual good characters. Because what you get here, you gotta understand, Reen, which I love Reen's adventure. It could be, if you know Reen going forward, she is a heroine in the next one. She's a primary protagonist along with Shiro, who is the kid that Kiritsugu rescues at the end, and then Sakura are main characters in the next one, and they are good people, as opposed to their forebearers, who are all terrible people. Every last one of them, except Waver. Waver isn't bad. Waver was the kid in this, and I find it interesting how they classified early on as the Grail will choose about 4 or 5 real wizards, and then at the very last minute they grab a couple. It grabs a couple at the end to fill in. And Waver was almost that, but he was a wizard, but he wasn't fully trained. But then the psycho that gets paired with Caster.
Yeah. Holy crap.
Oh shit. Well, that's also, oddly enough, it's the perfect combination because they're both psychos, and that iteration of Caster was actually a servant to I said her name, Jean
I always say Joan of
Like-
Arc. They want to say Jean d'Arc. I always say Joan of Arc. I can't stop myself.
Okay, yeah, Joan of Arc. I always say Jean just because of the French and everything. But you have now you're fucking me up. Joan of Arc. Okay, so you have Joan of Arc. He was actually a historical servant to her, like a soldier along her side, and actually he did exactly what they said. Like his actual history, that guy, and I can never say his true name because it's so French.
I know it's
Gilles something blue.
Yeah,
Bluebeard is the best way to say it, to call him. He did go around hunting down children, massacring them.
Yeah, and he gets paired with a guy who just isn't even a mage. He just tacks him on there, and that's one of the most interesting, because this is what sets Fate Zero apart from the other Fate stories, is that you have this moment where they fight a giant kaiju. They fight a kaiju, and it's like, holy shit. And it's so much fun to watch them do this for me, because it changes gears. I mean, Devil, you said you're used to things going on a certain way. How did you feel smack dab in the middle of this? Suddenly we're taking a break from these one-on-one battles, and it's kaiju battle time.
I to be honest, I wasn't too happy with it because I just thought it was like it made him seem so OP. Like it took them they had to all work together and stuff like that. It's like, okay, so what you're saying is he could kick all their asses. Essentially what you're establishing is, if he wasn't trying to destroy the city, he was just focusing on them, he could make himself into a kaiju and kill them, because none of them had their really...
That's actually a thing within Fate itself, is there's other instances, like if you watch Apocrypha, there's other instances of like kaiju battles and stuff. That's a thing though. Like in Zero, though, you are dealing with probably the highest caliber of champions across the board.
Yeah,
like these are their top power champions.
Yeah, they got the Zero cast of servants. These are super top tier heroes out of historical literature or mythology, compared to when we get to the next route. A couple of them are a little less, because Medea as the caster in the next route, she's not as strong, but it also, There is
Medea's in the next round.
Yeah, Medea
Yes.
is caster. Yeah, Medea is the caster in the next one.
I would say she's actually
Tyler
super
Perry's
strong.
Fate Zero.
Oh, I know I know what you're saying now.
Oh, God damn it, Devil! That took a second. God damn it, Devil!
The moment he said hello, and then Harry is like,
sorry.
oh,
yeah, I try not to think of that garbage.
I would say Medea is
hate
actually
Tyler
stronger
Perry.
than you're giving her credit for.
No, you didn't let me finish. I was going to say, Giles sets the stage for understanding that casters are deceptively strong because of the fact that they can become their own mana sources. And they don't have because that's the thing. Even though the 3 knight classes, especially Saber, are considered the strongest classes, caster is deceptively strong because they kind of break the rules. And Giles breaks the rules, and in the next round, Medea breaks the rules by becoming a master herself. And it's so good. It's so good with the way they do that, and they want to make you think that certain classes are always going to be overpowered, but then they throw you the wrench with a caster class. You think, oh man, this guy's a glass cannon. They're going to get mowed down by Saber or Archer or Rider or Lancer, but no, they have their trump cards, and because they are their own mana source, and that's their trump card. So that's why I didn't have a problem with Giant Kaiju Battle, because also I love team battles. It's just a thing. I like it when characters work together, and especially because in Zero, Arturia, Iskander, Deermoot, they're likable. They're actual heroes, and they operate under that. Well, especially Deermoot and Arturia operate under the chivalric code, where they're going to do things a certain way. And if it comes to a moment where they need to work together, they have no problem doing it. And Iskander's fine with doing it because he just looks at everybody as, hey, you're joining my army. That's cool. We'll work together, and you're under my command. I'm okay with that.
You also have to take a narrative-wise, they made a good point of it. Like, hey, Bluebeard and his master are just making a mockery of the Grail War. They're not even following the Grail War. They're going off and doing their own shit.
And it's
don't
horrific.
know why. They are becoming psychotic. We got to get rid of them. So if you kill them, you get a reward.
And nobody actually gets it. Nobody actually gets the extra command seal.
No, yeah, Lancer does.
Oh no, well, Lancer didn't get the kill though.
No, but his original summoner does.
That what I'm saying is, no one got the promised. It didn't work out the way it was supposed to. Is what I'm saying. The kill shot was supposed to. Whoever got the kill shot was supposed to get the extra command seal. But then El Matoy went in there and negotiated to get the extra command seal because his fiance, who was horny for Deermoot, took it away from him, and then he killed the priest, who then gave all the command seals to Kirei. And you see, it's almost Game of Thrones-esque with the way all this shit works. And I say that in actually a good way. You guys know how I feel about Game of Thrones. What I love, though, is that it's all interconnected. Everything leads to something, one betrayal after another. Every character is just... You're just waiting, honestly, like Devil said, you're waiting for the heel turn. You're waiting for the heel turn for almost everybody, except the servants. Because the servants aren't really in control of themselves.
Except for Gilgamesh.
Only because Tosaka was placating him. And he was trying to save that command seal to make him kill himself at the end to activate the Grail.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, Tosaka was playing a game.
Tosaka was manipulating Gilgamesh, and Gilgamesh didn't fucking like it, so he turned on his own master because Gilgamesh is a fucking bitch.
Well, that's the thing. Gilgamesh and Kirei are the ultimate villains in this because Gilgamesh was this is why I love Gilgamesh. He crafts Kirei into a supervillain by the end of it. Kirei he starts off as a thug. He's a thug at the beginning, happily doing the bidding of others. But Gilgamesh starts playing mind games with him. And he turns him into this creature that then enjoys seeing the suffering of others. What he does to the Mato kid, the guy, Berserker's master. I mean, he just messes with him, gets him to almost kill Reen's mom, because obviously he doesn't kill her because she shows up at the end of the episode of the series or of season, and it's just fascinating to watch one master villain turn someone else into a master villain, and I love it. And Dermy, you said the perfect thing earlier. I hate these guys, and I love hating them because I love a good villain. And it's just so right. All right, let's see. Oh, Dermy, is there anything I haven't mentioned you want to jump into? Because I seem to be jumping all over the place.
Well, that's usually how the show is.
Yeah.
Let me think. Double, what did you think about the end? Like how it all wraps up, like the final moments.
Well, like I said, I'm really bad with names. Who's the sorcerer hunter for the church? What's his name?
Kira.
The one who ends up with Gilgamesh. Kira. Him and Gilgamesh's whole thing was like really weird. Like the conversations they had down there when he was drinking all the wine and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That really was weird. Just like I said, a turn, because at first I was all like, is he supposed to be the hero? And then like I said, real big turn. I wasn't too happy with the ending, because like I said, I really ended up like disliking that pair. I think they're good as bad, but I was like, you're like, fuck them. Why the hell did they have to win? Essentially, Gilgamesh showing up there naked at the end, I was all like, okay, I saw this coming. They're gay.
No, not gay. He was made flesh. Because remember, before that, he's a spirit. The Grail's back, I guess, backwash. It made him flesh as a result, and because he was connected to Kira, it resurrected him as basically a zombie of sorts.
All I know is all that talk down there in the wine room was kind of, I don't know. And then so like I said, he ended up naked at the end. I was like, oh my god, I knew it was going here. You're gonna get some
They're not gay.
But
okay, go ahead.
But I just thought it sucked when Alexander the Great died. He was the one I was actually pulling for. I knew he wasn't gonna be the winner. But out of all them, he was the only one I was like, I like this guy. He's kind of funny. He's, wearing a t-shirt and all that shit. I thought, oh, that's funny. But yeah.
Now, here's my problem. Well, not my problem. Here's the thing. Because I watched this as the prequel that it was, I knew exactly how this was going to end. I knew that Kiritsugu would survive, but I also knew that Kira and Gilgamesh, as Jeremy said, they kind of default win. They don't actually win because nobody actually won the Grail. The Grail just kind of spazzed out because Kiritsugu rejected it, and then it barfed up lava.
And he ordered Saber to destroy it because he knew that was actually pure evil.
Yeah.
Because his whole thing was, hey, he wants to purge the world from all of its evil. He wants to make the world good.
But it can only work in the realm of what you understand. That's the failure of this Grail. It won't actually give you what you want. It'll give you what you.
It'll give you a version of it.
It give you only what you could understand and accomplish. There are no miracles, as it said.
In order to do that, he'd have to kill basically the entire world.
Yeah, because every time you save one chunk of people, then that chunk of people is going to divide again, and you have to kill again and again and again until it would just be his wife and his daughter. And
then he'd have to kill them.
Yes.
Almost like there was an anime recently that tried to do the same concept but failed.
Yeah. Except this guy actually is a hero, and he rejected it. He said, I'm not going to kill the world to save the world. I'm going to reject it, and then because I save one life in this horrible, traumatic tragedy moment where I unwittingly unleashed a catastrophe on an entire section of the city, if I can just save one life, everything's worth it, and it'll save my soul. And he does that when he finds Shiro.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
We talked about who we would pull from history as our servants.
Yeah.
You said in other episodes you can actually pull like inanimate people, like people who
Well,
really didn't
actually,
exist?
yeah, they do that in the next
Mhm.
round because Assassin in the next one is actually a fictional character brought to life.
And then Berserker in Fate Apocrypha is just had I said his name or her name Frankenstein.
Well, there's two Berserkers.
Oh, it's Frankenstein.
Well,
Or
one of the
Apocrypha.
Berserkers.
Yeah.
Black Berserker? Yeah, Black Berserker Black, I think, is Frankenstein. And then they do have, this is sort of a spoiler, in Fate Apocrypha, they base it in Transylvania because one of their champions, their lancer for Team Black,
It's Vlad.
is Vlad the Impaler, but he has a noble phantasm that he can become Dracula.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's cool.
And
Okay, then who would you pick as a fictional character as your things? Who would you pick?
are there limitations?
We're gonna have to
No.
set some limitation. Oh fuck. Okay.
See, now I'm tempted to get stupid when I do this now. If I go to fiction, I'm tempted to get stupid. It's like I pick Luke Skywalker.
Now Dermy
Let-
can pick Medea.
Oh God.
I've actually that whenever you make it into like what fictional character you would summon, that makes it even harder because then I start going through my list of like who are my favorite fictional characters because technically you could summon a Gundam pilot for crying out loud. That would be a thing that would probably fall under rider class. Then you start thinking. I'm like, God fucking damn it, Sephiroth.
Yeah, see, I don't want to go down that route. I don't want to go down that route. It gets crazy when you start bringing in any fiction character. I like it better with historical or at least mythological characters. I like it better when you can slot that in. It's a lot easier to wrap your head around.
It also gets a little bit harder to start thinking because then even in Fate itself has the ability to bring like alternate versions of characters in as champions.
Yeah.
That
They
gets
call
very
there an alt version is usually darker and evil. To
well.
like
I
Saber
mean,
alt, Joan of Arc
for the
alt.
not trying to spoil anything for Devil if he decides to actually go watch Fate Stay Unlimited Blade Works or even Fate Stay Night. Archer is
No,
Archer's
don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Archer's whole storyline. That's where I'm going with this.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
they do things like in Apocrypha as well, and other instances of stuff like things like that.
Apocrypha is
happen.
just a pulling of everything into one
Yes.
little bit of everything into one thing. It just is.
But what I'm talking about, like with Archer itself, that actually becomes a thing in Fate as well. Like you can have alternate versions of
Yeah.
actual past Fate characters.
Yeah. Or future versions,
Yes.
as it were. It's listen, Fate is a mind fuck. Because listen, when I first watched this, it took me a second time around to really understand what went on inside the Grail. Because when I was just watching it the first time, it just kind of was there happening, and then I wasn't really thinking about it. And then you watch the other iterations, and you understand, okay, I need to go back and make sure I understand what happened in Zero to understand what's going on in the Grail. What is the Grail? And then we get to Apocrypha. The Grail's an entirely different thing.
Mhm.
It's not this evil black hole that will twist your desires into a nightmare. It actually is an all-powerful device, and like Apocrypha again.
Because in
Altering-
Apocrypha, it's the true Grail.
Yeah,
You guys have been fighting for the fake Grail. This is the true one.
That's the tragedy of Arturia in this season. She thinks it was the Grail she was always searching for, still, and she can't comprehend why Kiritsugu is telling her to destroy it. This is what I love this franchise because of the depth of the characters, and it's one of those shows where you get a few episodes in and you are literally invested in everybody you've met.
I don't usually like to call anime franchises, but I think this is one of their perfect examples of a proper anime franchise.
Yeah, because it spans anime, it spans light novels, it spans visual novels, it spans video games. It spans a lot of different stuff, and they're all successful.
That MOBA, even though it's a MOBA game and it's a pay to win MOBA game, It's actually kind of good. Like the
I
story
will know.
itself is actually really good.
Yeah, I will never do it. I'd rather just watch. I'd like them to make the animated version. Give me Grand Order all the way, please. I want to watch
Oh,
it.
I don't want to spoil because I don't know if they'll do it. Nikola Tesla is also a character you can choose from.
That's not spoiled.
Hmm.
He's a caster, and I'm not going to say anything else if they ever do the Grand Order stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I know the eras that it goes into. I didn't read into it because I want to see it animated. Jay Fraser 360 for 10 pounds. Thank you, Jay Fraser. Have you
Ooh.
seen Garden of Sitters, Kara no Kyokai, set in the Fate universe, high quality animation and dope Yuki Kajura score? Watch in release order movie 1 through 6, remix movie 7, 8, Future Gospel. No, I don't think I've heard of this one.
I've never heard of this. Garden
Yeah.
of Sinners. Is that their because my way of watching anime, wink wink nudge nudge, whenever you type in Fate, there's an army of Fate series. There's just an army of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I've never heard of that. So I guess I will just like Derby hadn't heard of Waivers one. I might have to check that out. I know there was a recent one that came out, Fate Samurai. There was a one shot special last season. I didn't watch
And
that
it
because it was
ended
just
up going into it was a build up for more MOBA stuff.
yeah, which is why I said screw
'Cause-
that. I'm not gonna watch it.
Yeah, listen, I do like the MOBA game, but they've been doing weird shit even in the MOBA game. They have a fucking Fate race.
Hey, you know,
A bunch of big titty ladies. I'm not gonna lie. You have
hey,
a
oh,
bunch
hey,
of big
hey,
titty
hey,
ladies, but
like I said, yeah, Fate is one of those franchises that are experts in the scantily clad ladies.
I also, even though I don't like the idea of doing a Grail War, which is a giant race, it's changing up the formula a little bit.
Mm.
It's doing something different. So I do like that aspect. I just don't like the idea that they implemented.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same idea of doing a actual war for the Grail War.
Well, I will have to check that out. And Jay Fraser brings up a point that I was going to get to anyway. The soundtrack, the soundtrack for this season is incredible. I have used this soundtrack for many a thing. It is so incredible. I mean, okay, that I don't even understand what you're doing. It doesn't sound like anything at all what you just did. You tone deaf.
I can't say the actual words. I'm English, not Japanese.
You don't have to say the words. The soundtrack is great. Devil, what did you think of the soundtrack?
It was okay. I mean, I usually pay attention more to the story than I do like the music. I do it on the second run through and stuff of when I watch things, but it wasn't bad. I mean, I was enjoying it.
Yeah, it's for me when they use certain tracks that I'm very familiar with, it just makes the scene even better. One of my favorite ones is a particular track. I mean, I have them on a list somewhere. It's in my library here. When during the battle with Castor, when Berserker enters the scene and does the dogfight with Gilgamesh, the guitar riffs in that. Oh, I love it. I love that so much. I'm not. See, now I'm like Dermy. I'm butchering it. I'm getting into it. I'm not gonna dare. I dare not play it because that'll be a claim instantly. But it's just.
I used to listen to the openings to Fate Zero on repeat.
Actually, my favorite Fate opening is the second one for Unlimited Blade Works. That's my favorite one.
I need to go back and watch. I've only seen Unlimited Blade Works once all the way through.
Yeah, this will be my third or fourth watch through next month when I do it. So
I've seen Fate now 3 or 4 times. I think it's 4 times I've seen it now. That's why when I was doing this, it was mainly just what happened at what point? What happened at what point? And also, I'll say there was two points that I did just watch all the way through because I love them so much. It was the Conference of Kings, and then I believe it's the episode prior is when you have Gilgamesh and you have Waver. They find Bluebeard's hideout.
You mean Iskander and Waver?
Yes, you're right. So many fucking names. Give me a break. Yeah, Iskander and Waver.
Yeah,
they find Bluebeard's hideout, and like,
I
think that's that's actually my favorite scene in regards to Iskander himself, because he goes in there, all like, "Hey, we're gonna fight him," Conqueror. And then when he starts seeing everything, he gets like really serious really fast. And he tells Waver, don't look around, close your eyes.
Because he is a real man.
Mm-hmm.
He may play the, I don't want to say goof, but he may play the lighthearted adventurer type, but he is still a king, a ruler, and he is also an adult, and he knows that Waver is a child.
And he did the fucking correct thing when leaving that place. Torch it all.
Yeah. And
do it all. Do it all while you have that stoic face in your mouth as you just ride out, pissed off at what you see.
So it all comes together. And to Devil's point, when he mentioned earlier, if you're just watching this and you don't go on, it is sort of an unsatisfying ending because this is a prequel. It's leading to other things. And then that's the trick of the original Fate Stay Night or Fate storyline, is that, as I said when we started this is the rock solid, immutable beginning. This is what always happens at the beginning. But now, when you go into 10 years later into the fifth Holy Grail War, there are three routes.
Iteration. Yeah, three iterations.
Routes.
Three
They say
routes
routes because they say routes in the visual novel. There are the three routes. The thing is, though, each route is legitimate. There's no wrong route. It's which one do you like most and is your favorite. Now, you can argue which is better. That's a good old-fashioned weeb argument, but they are all legitimate. I mean, I do not like Heaven's Feel. I do not like it. I think it's a little grotesque in how they treat the characters. I think it's too dark, and I think
I haven't seen Heaven's Feel. I know what happens in it. I like the idea. I like the idea.
There's something darker than this one. Holy crap!
Oh, Devil! You haven't. Devil, this is probably.
This is the first course. This is the first course.
They all get dark.
I mean, you have to say, Devil's look at this thing. Listen, okay, we watched kids be murdered. We watched zombies eat people. We watched people blow up entire planes. We've seen entire natural disasters. We've seen kaiju squash a city. We've seen people have fingers broken, be tortured left and right. And it gets worse?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
So you got me. and this is the one without big boobies. What the hell?
Yeah.
You know what? You should watch Apocrypha. There's a wonderful character there named Astolfo. You'll love her.
I mean, let's be honest. Fate Stay Night and Unlimited Blade Works. Ryder brings the boobs, but she's not in it a whole lot. Her boobs come around in Heaven's Feel, where she becomes the hero servant for that route. But the other iterations, when you get into Grand Order and get into Apocrypha, then it's booby time.
Mordred is, you know what? She has a personality that would make you want to just jump off a cliff, but
Astolfo's a guy. That's a dude.
God fucking damn it! Did you see, Hoodie? Motherfucker! I was trying to leave Devil down a weird path and scare the guy.
Dude, there's a penis there.
Thank you.
I was trying to do the trap because Astolfo's a trap. I was trying to pull the trap, motherfuckers.
I don't want to have an awkward dermy moment.
You will have an awkward dermy moment with Astolfo. It's very awkward.
Yeah, but here the thing is, Astolfo is actually super heroic in Apocrypha.
He's also he is classified as a chaotic good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't see Astolfo coming out as so prominent when I watched Apocrypha. I did not see it going that way.
Neither did I. And listen, even though Astolfo's been commandeered by the Finn boys and stuff like that, Astolfo's pretty. I love writers. I just have to say it. I love the writer class. There's always wonderful characters in the writer class.
I like saber classes just because I'm a sword freak. You know, I like my swords.
I'm a sword freak too, but I've had 2 iterations where the writers were just actually 3. Even in the weird one with Nero, the writer in that one was also just an enjoyable character.
Yeah, so you want the boobies, the alternate timeline ones, they got the boobies. All right, anything else you want to throw out here before we bring the discussion phase to a close here? Anything? I mean, we were all over the place. We're not really talking about the story because you either watched it or you didn't, and that's not how we work here. We just talk about the stuff we like, and what we and how we feel about all these things. And we're gonna get more into it next month when we do Unlimited Blade Works, which is just a joy for me to watch. Because hey, it's in the freaking intro. You think I like it? It's in the goddamn intro.
I'm not gonna. I've only seen it once, but god damn, it is a good one.
Unlimited Blade Works is. I think it's my favorite Noble Phantasm. Hell, dude, you play Final Fantasy 14. Did you get to the point where, if you play Ninja and you use your limit break level 3, it's Unlimited Blade Works.
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's Unlimited Blade Works, and whenever I used to do it, I would always go Unlimited Blade Works whenever I'd get a chance to use it. Back when I played Ninja.
Devil, I would actually say, because we all agree Gilgamesh is a bitch. Watch Unlimited Blade Works.
Yeah, he'll. It's great.
It gets worse. Don't worry, but it gets really good.
And you'll agree, Rena's best girl. Anyway, all right. So if we don't got anything else, let's move on. So guys, Fate Zero, I love it. Devil, are you interested in going forward? In all seriousness, are you interested in going forward with the Fate franchise after this?
I wouldn't. Excuse me. I had to get up early there. I wouldn't mind. I liked the anime, the look of it. I liked the idea, the summoning heroes from old as you're to fight for you. I like that. The problem is I don't go looking for anime too much, so I don't know if I'd ever get around to it, but it's definitely, as far as the anime I have seen, I did enjoy it. I did like the idea of it. A little darker, like I said, than I'm used to.
But if you go to the next round, you're going to get that good guy thing you're looking for, though, because
you get your good guy thing.
You get the good guys in the next phase. The good guys.
If you have access to Netflix, Apocrypha was at least dubbed, or it was distributed via Netflix, so it is a Netflix style anime.
Okay. Well, yeah, if it's on a channel I can just easily, turn it on, yeah.
But
I'd probably continue.
But Fate Stay Night and Unlimited Blade Works, if you want your heroes, the people you could easily identify and realize I can get behind these guys, you will do that. And all I got to say is, depending on your route, either yay Ilya or poor Ilya. And we'll talk about that next month. Anyway, all right. So we're going to move on to the topics now. Let's start with this one because this is the one that that happened first. This is the article I'm going to use, even though it's not the direct one. But what am I doing? God damn it! Wrong button, Adam. I can swear to God I can do this. It's all right. We all watch actual One Piece here. We all watch it. I'm currently starting Impel Down in my rewatch. I'm moving very slowly right now, but I'm enjoying it when I'm into it. And we've all seen One Piece live action. We've all given our thoughts on it. Needless to say, however we feel about it, we can all agree Netflix earned a lot of goodwill with One Piece live action, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, they're going to waste it, in my opinion, when they do this. Then when they make their own One Piece called The One Piece. So, Devil, have you heard about this yet?
Just a little bit. I haven't been reading any articles on it or anything.
Oh, there's only the couple. Go ahead, Devil.
So, what I'm gonna say is, I don't fully understand what they are doing. From what I've gathered, I would say they are doing a Dragon Ball Z Kai style of One Piece.
No.
Okay, they're not doing that.
No. They are doing a full. I mean, I'll zoom in. They've got a completely different studio. It's the studio that did Attack on Titan.
The first couple of seasons of Attack on Titan.
They got that. It's called The One Piece, and it is a remake of the East Blue arc. It's not a Kai where they're just cutting out filler episodes. It is a full remake of East Blue arc. And from what I can understand, Oda Sensei is not involved.
They're gonna fuck it so bad.
That's what I think.
Well, like I heard two different iterations of what's going on. Essentially, they're doing. I thought it was a Kai. The other thing that I heard is they're basically making the live action into the anime style, and I just sat there and thought, I hate every second of this.
I haven't heard that part. I also didn't hear the Kai part, but what the articles that when it came out, I made the video on it. They just said they're getting all these different people involved. No mention of Oda Sensei being involved. That's the one reason live action managed to stay on the rails, because Oda Sensei kept it there. If Oda Sensei is not here, like Devil just said, I think this is fucked.
Well,
completely.
the reason why I'm saying it's Kai is essentially when it came to Kai, they just gave you the story. They cut out all the filler. That's what the thing I was hearing here
But they
is
didn't
were
reanimate it. It was literally just
Mhm.
the original episodes. They didn't make anything new. It was just the original
what I
episodes.
would
This is
yes,
going to be
and
reanimated. New.
yes, I would prefer legitimately if they're gonna do this whole like reanimation. I'm not saying reanimate it, just I would say update the graphics and everything because early One Piece, even though it's
rough.
enjoyable,
It's rough. I agree.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's-
Update it just to its modern
They just
style.
did it again too.
Mhm.
They apparently they're starting the Egghead Island arc in the anime. They've adjusted the animation style again ever so slightly.
I would say make it just like a decent anime style. Do it with the early stuff. Make it a little bit more visually appealing. Don't change the fucking story.
Here's the thing, though. If they're going from Wit Studios, who did Attack on Titan's first couple of seasons, that's a very distinctive animation style. If they choose that, and that's not going to work on One Piece.
Yeah, One Piece has to stay kind of goofy. It can't look too serious.
It all has
It has to be whimsical.
But this is the thing is if you're gonna I get doing the live action because they're trying to go for a different crowd. They're trying to pull a different crowd in.
Complete different case,
When you're making it when you're making another anime, the only reason you would do that is to make changes. Because if you weren't going to change a single thing, you would just tell them to go watch the original anime.
Yep.
So there's going to be changes no matter what. It's just what changes are they going to go for. And knowing Netflix, we know what changes they're going to go for. They got all, like you said, they got all that goodwill from the live action. Oda Sensei kept them on the story staying the same, not changing a bunch. In this, there's no Oda Sensei, they're just gonna be like, okay, well, we'll make this character gay, we're gonna make this character a different color, we're gonna make this character.
They admitted it.
They're just gonna go crazy, and they're gonna be seen there going, why the hell didn't anyone like this one? They like the live action. Why didn't they like this one? They do this every single time. They don't learn their lesson.
But also the thing with anime, let's be real here. It's not that appealing to the average audience goer. I love anime. I think it is wonderful and everything. But your average audience isn't going to turn on One Piece and go like, is not going to go to the One Piece anime. It just doesn't translate.
A lot of people are still wedded to the thought that if something is animated, not animated, just animated, it's a cartoon and it's for kids. And I'm not going to watch this. And that is an unfortunate reality that we live in, not understanding that something, just what we were just talking about, Fate Stay Night, that is not for kids.
No,
that is an anime for adults or for young adults. I mean, people who can grasp these things.
Think of me, okay? So my family, they don't like anime. Other than my brother and I, the rest of my family doesn't like anime. And I've hunted for something that's adult that maybe my dad would like. And I try to show him Vinland Saga. And he said, no, it's anime. Not going to watch that. It's a cartoon. It's for kids. Average viewers aren't going to go to this stuff. It just doesn't translate. And then you get like Gary from Neurotic, for example. He's willing to at least try anime, but it's not something that he's outright appealed to.
He's admitted he is a Western comic snob. It's Gary's words. I'm not putting words in Gary's mouth. Those are Gary's words. He is a Western comic snob. He doesn't generally like how anime or manga artwork looks. But when he sees something he likes, he admits it's good. And he liked One Piece live action. In fact, he fell in love with it. And he's willing to, somebody sent it to him. He's going to watch East Blue Arc, the animated version.
Well, if you look at it, you go, okay, One Piece, the original anime.
Yeah.
Its appeal is to anime fans. People who are willing to put in the time to get to the good story and everything. And once you do, you love it like wholeheartedly like me. What did the live action one? Well, that appeals to more broader because you're going to bring in the anime fans, but you're also going to get some of the people who, like you guys have been saying, don't, anime's for kids. It's cartoonish. what is this going to appeal to? It's not going to appeal to the anime fans because they, just like us, they're going to feel slighted that they're trying to remake a classic, something that's perfect as is. It's not going to appeal to the ones who watch the live action because, like we have with Soldier Spirit, I don't like the cartoons, right? So you're not going to get them on this. The only people that this is going to appeal to is the what have we even got a name for them yet? The anime fans who care more about message than about the damn anime.
Stands.
Stands.
Those are stands. Yeah, those are stands. Yeah. Yeah.
So stands, the ones who if they make Luffy blow Zoro, they would just be ecstatic. It doesn't matter how stupid it is to the story. That's the people. So it's a very small segment that they're actually going at with this. And it's all like, really, you're going to go through all the effort of making this for a small little group.
You would not just get the stands, but you would get the overt passionate fans. Sometimes the passionate fans act similar to stands, but they have a very distinct style.
Yeah, that comes down to I'm very sensitive about this thing I love. Don't talk about it a certain way. And real quick, Jay Fraser, Dermy said it. This is monthly, fourth week of every month, fourth Thursday of every month. We come back here and we talk about this stuff. And I'll answer your anime of the year. I can't answer that yet because I haven't finished watching all the anime yet this year, so I can't answer that.
I don't think I've checked out a single anime of the year.
I recommended a couple things to you. I know you're backlogged. So
I'm majorly backlogged.
I just all the fall season stuff just ended last week, so I'm about to have probably 60 70 episodes of anime coming my way, so I'm gonna be a happy little weeb real soon.
Was Witch of Mercury this year, or was that last year?
That was last year. No.
Okay, don't watch Witch of Mercury.
No, it was both. It was end of last year.
Okay, that's why
beginning
I'm
of this year.
That's why I'm getting confused. Listen,
we'll get to that.
Right now, all I'm waiting for is Kaiju number 8.
I have a lot of things I've liked and really enjoyed. And again, we've got there. I mean, there's right now a couple things like Goblin Slayer season 2 just finished, and I'm really excited to get to that.
There's season 2 already?
It just finished airing.
Oh shit! There's also Jujutsu Kaisen season 2
that's just finished airing too. There's a lot of controversy surrounding that. I've been waiting. Actually, it's still going. Season 2 is still going. It's still.
And then I still need to get caught up on My Hero.
My Hero, that's coming next season's next year. They also just announced today our favorite. Oh shit, I just forgot it. God damn it. Konosuba season 3, April.
Oh, and then Chainsaw Man next is not going to do season 2. It's going to start doing movies.
Yeah, doing a movie. It honestly, it depends on what I mean. You'd have to ask me that question. What was my favorite in each genre? Because I consume so much every season that I like certain things, and certain things are appealing to me either way. I mean, perfect example.
Vinland Saga season 2 also came out this year.
Per example, last season I watched Atelier Ryza based on the video games, and I kind of liked it. And then I decided to get video games, and I'm obsessed with the video games right now, and I'm enjoying them way more than I enjoyed the anime.
I think you'd probably have to ask me what was your favorite anime you watched this year, because I could probably I need to go through what
I'd have to go down the list, because sometimes I know the Japanese names, sometimes I know the American, and sometimes they're only part ones because some of them are multiple seasons. So there's so much going on, and hopefully next year we can give you some more picks. I mean, if I had been caught up right now, I would have given you my picks for the fall, but I haven't actually watched anything yet.
Oh, I got it. Okay. Record of Ragnarok season 2 came out this year. That was a fantastic season. Okay, I got to be honest. That was actually really good.
So, see, like you said, some of the things I've watched, I really enjoyed. They're only season 2 part 1s, so they're not done yet. Like Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. I love that one, but it was only season 2 part 1, so I can't.
They did that to me in regards to Record of Ragnarok. They dropped part 1.
Now,
then they hint part 2, and then they silently drop part 2, and it's like, motherfuckers.
I can't say that I did enjoy both. They released both parts this year. I think I did enjoy. Is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon season 4 parts 1 and 2? It got that show keeps getting better, and I can't wait for season 5. I know that. Here's an all-time one, and we're gonna go over this one probably soon enough. Reincarnated as a Slime season 3 is coming next summer. I'm really excited for that. Dermy, have you seen that one yet?
Not yet.
Oh, you'll love it.
I've been told I would like it.
I think you'll love it. I think I'd love it. So I've seen it all the way through as is right now 3 times, all the way through 3 times now. It's one of my current favorites. I keep going back to.
I still need to finish Rising of Shield here, season 2. We're
I have
going off
season
on a
3.
different tangent.
Season 3 just finished, and I have to watch season 3 now. Yeah. So, and I haven't read. See, season 2, I read most of that in the manga, so I knew it was going to happen. Now I have no idea what's going to happen. So
There's a bunch of anime where sometimes when I watch an anime, I have to be like, don't read the manga. Don't do
that
it.
for me, that's Demon Slayer. You've read it all. I haven't, and I'm specifically not doing that. You know, they dropped the trailer for season 3 a week or 4.
I'm staying away.
They dropped the trailer, the arc for the arc that you say is the most boring arc. You told me it's the boring
It is
arc.
the most boring arc.
They dropped the trailer for it a couple weeks ago. If I wasn't sure we'd get copyright claim, I'd play it anyway. But back to One Piece, the One Piece. I guess because we tangented away. It's gonna be trash. I predict it's gonna be trash.
It really depends on what are they doing, because
they told us what they're doing.
Well, they've told us that they're reanimating it. You're right. They're going
remake.
to Netflix.
It says it right here.
Yes,
remake by Netflix.
By Netflix. I see that. It really just depends. I need to get that trailer first, because right now this is just an announcement. I'm fucking worried. Let's just say that. What are they doing? How are they doing this?
I'm going to repeat what Devil just said a few minutes ago before we went on a tangent. One Piece anime already exists.
True. Well, also, the reason why I'm saying that is, are they updating it and doing a Dragon Ball Z Kai that they're taking out all the filler and just updating the graphics? Are they doing that? And then, to Devil's point as well, Wit Studio does have a very distinct looking animation style. I had to quickly look it up to see, like, do they have any sort of whimsical style? The closest thing they have is Spy Family. That's not going to translate.
I haven't watched Spy Family.
I haven't watched it either, but I know the animation style. I know what it is. That's not going to translate to One Piece.
Because
none of this is going to translate.
Because everybody loves it, and all the shill sites praise it. It's kind of made me go in the opposite direction of Spy Family. I don't want to go near it because it's like, oh, it's so great.
Oh, it also has ranking of Kings, and the Ancient Magus Bride are also made by Wit.
Ancient Magus Bride is good, but it can get so drawn out and boring at times.
I still need to watch it. You had the Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn's I just had Isekai Adventures. That was made by Wit. It's a very unique.
It's an accomplished studio.
It's an accomplished studio, but it has a certain look to it that will not translate to One Piece.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, all right.
I do like the look. Don't get me wrong. I love their animation style. It's just
not One Piece. And I'm with Devil. I think it's going to be crap. I think it's going to be crap.
Oh, all shit. Right. Did Wit Studios also do the Berserk? Fuck.
I'm not going to talk about that. All right. So, Dermy, this topic's up your alley, and we'll get into the other half of it. I know you loved it when the Gundam creator came out and trashed Disney.
So, to be clear,
yeah, I know.
He trashed them on their animation style, but let's be fucking clear as well. He also said they are heartless. So that could be translated all across Disney right now. Motherfucker was right. And also what he said about Gundam is right, is, guys, you're losing the path of Gundam. You're not doing it right anymore, and stop it. Stop it.
Hail Carl Carlson. Yeah, it's I mean, Devil, you haven't seen much Gundam, have you?
No, I've watched G Gundam, and I've watched sporadic episodes in different ones, but I haven't, I'm not Dermy. I haven't seen it from the beginning.
Yeah. Not me or Kenzo.
Yeah, and I come in a distant third on that one. But this guy's a foundation of anime right here.
He's the creator of Gundam.
Yeah, without this dude, we don't have modern anime without this dude. This dude's a visionary.
Yes.
You listen to what he says. You heed his word. You heed his based words when he decides to tell you something.
And also what he said is not completely inaccurate. When you look at anime, yes, there's a lot. How the anime studios and stuff usually work is the the animators normally have the final say. Like the actual anime the mangaka has the final say on how everything is going to go. Mangaka. But they've been kind of starting to steer away from that. They've been kind of starting to do a more corporatized style of how they're putting out these animes and everything like that, kind of cutting the mangaka out. But then, yes, a lot of times you're getting maybe very accurate storytellings, but at the same time, you're getting the ones that decide, you know what, fuck the manga, let's go with their own little path, and those usually fail. Sometimes they've been okay, sometimes they're not. You kind of want to go back. You don't want to start going corporatized like Disney has been. You don't want to start doing everything to try to save a buck and just put out a subpar story. You want to keep that heart. You want to keep this thought process there. And also, again, like a lot of what he was talking about is how they were animating stuff now. They've been going away from like hand drawing and starting to use a bunch of computerized technology and stuff, where in some instances that can work, and other instances we get CGI nightmares.
Now, again, this is a man you listen to. I'm all for advancement in production value and quality, but I'm not a fan of it when it goes full CGI. I think it looks god awful. It pulls me out when you have a normal anime style. It's something they do in modern shows these days. You'll have normal characters looking normal, and suddenly the monsters are CGI'd monsters, or something you're fighting like a tank or a mech or something. It's a CGI'd nightmare, and it's distracting from the overall visual.
It's not appealing.
Visuals.
Like when you can use CGI in anime. I think you can, but the way you do it has to be very sparse. And in certain situations, it has to be like just to get a movement that you can't get right, or you just put it here or there to make it look a little bit better. I know you groaned about Berserk, but the Golden Age trilogy utilized CGI with hand drawn, with 2D very clearly, and it sometimes you didn't even know if you were watching 2D or if you were doing CGI. That's where it kind of worked. But then they saw, hey, it worked over here. Why can't we do it over here? And it just flopped.
Yes. Sorry, I was reading some.
I know.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm setting up for the next part of this conversation. And I don't disagree with anything you just said, which is weird because usually I want to be on the opposite end of you on things. So for me to agree with Dermy shows you how right the creator of Gundam is. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name because I've already moved away from it. But here's the thing. It's not just that. I know we're talking about animation style, but we have to understand that he's also talking about story, lore building, world building, character creation, this and that. And let's be completely upfront and honest. He's not in charge of Gundam anymore. He hasn't been in charge of Gundam for decades. He lives off the royalties, his share, this and that. A lot of other people involved in it. And just this end of last year, beginning of this year, as Jeremy mentioned a moment ago, the last new iteration of Gundam was Gundam the Witch from Mobile Gundam, the Witch from Mercury, which was a new sort of take on it all. And it started off with a really interesting premise, having the kids be in school, having be a mobile training stuff, and mobile training. There isn't war. Everything's corporatized. The standard Gundam war motif was removed. And we thought with those first 12 episodes, 13 episodes, hey, all right, this is new. This is interesting. And nothing seems too out of the ordinary. And then you get into season 2, and they threw the Gundam rulebook out, and they shat out a piece of crap. I mean, being very literal when I say that, but that's what it was. Witch from Mercury became utter garbage. Not only because the characters became completely unrelatable, completely uninteresting, but then somebody around there, and this goes to show you the wokeness is everywhere. The woke knows not international boundaries. Once it's weeds its way in there, it'll seep in. At the very end of it, at the start, Dermy, you can. I know you agree with me on this. When the whole thing started, Soleta Mercury, she was straight.
Yes, she had a thing for the
for two different dudes for the green.
Two different dudes.
Yeah.
Green haired dude she had a thing for, and then pink haired dude had a thing for her.
For a future romance. They were setting that up for a future romance, and then by the end of it, they made him gay with the white hair chick, Miorine, or where I think that's what her name was. They made him gay together. Suddenly it went from, even though they had the whole thing, she's the groom, she can marry, and they made a big deal. Oh, women marry all the time. Yeah, we didn't care about that. But suddenly it went from we're besties to we're going to be scissor partners.
Yeah, the whole concept was, yes, they were engaged together, but she accidentally got engaged with her, and then they were just being friends.
Yeah,
And
it was
they even talked about,
friendship.
hey, we might get married in the future, but we're not gonna be gay.
It's part of the corporate thing if it happens. And
It's
then
like
in
a
season 2, they went full muff diving.
Yeah.
It went full muff diving. And Dermy, I have the article. This is from August, because in August, because there was such a backlash from actual Gundam fans, not as we mentioned, the stands, who suddenly thought, oh my God, there's the representation in Gundam.
The American
now,
stands, but it actually got the big thing that got backlash though was over in Japan. Japan hated this.
Yeah, Japan
Gundam
hated it, and normal American Gundam fans hated this too.
Yes, they thought it was a stupid thing.
It was dumb. And so they retconned it. But then, Dermy, what happened right after that, or shortly, a little while ago? Lita, tell us where we are now with this.
I believe as of right now, they are starting to unretcon it but they are retconning it because of China, but at the same time, they're keeping it sort of canon and stuff. It's so freaking weird what's going on now because they don't want to piss off the stan communities that they have cultivated as well, because the stans are coming out and freaking out that they've retcon it. It's all over the fucking place. This one little move has fucked Gundam up forever. Quit putting gay shit in Gundam. I had a full-length argument the other day in my comment section because we're getting that new CGI movie. Visually, the Gundams look good. Characters look horrific. I said, hey, I want to know where it is.
What are you talking about?
The Gundam movie.
Not Freedom.
Not Freedom. The one Netflix is putting out. I can't think what it is.
Yeah, the one that I said looks like shit. And you're like, I'm open to it.
I'm open to it. I am outright open to it.
And I said it looks like shit. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm just clarifying. I know what we're talking about now. Okay.
In my trailer reaction, I said, I'm scared it will be woke. I'm scared. And I gave my reasoning why. I had a full-on argument with some weird American stan. That's what it fucking was. It was an American stan that tried to argue to me that Gundam's always been woke, okay? They always had girl bosses, okay? And neither of you guys are going to know who this person is, but Lala in the original series was a girl boss just like Rey. And it's like, motherfucker, what?
And and every other time we go farther and farther into Gundam, we have women in command. We also have giant cans.
Yes, we have giant cans, and we have feminine characters. We have characters that have to do stuff in their own way. And his argument for Lala being a girl boss, just like Rey Palpatine, was that Lala was the strongest new type ever. For those of you who don't know what a new type is a super powerful psychic individual that got these powers essentially from living in space their whole life. It is essentially the evolution of humanity, space noids becoming new types. That's their whole thing. She was basically.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to weave into what you were saying. Go ahead. Finish.
Basically, she's not the first new type, but she's one of the strongest new types that they have found, because new types are a budding breed and a budding phenomenon.
Yeah, and
she's the strongest out of all of them.
And Dermy's about to hopefully soon start watching Seed and Seed Destiny. Yeah, Kira, strongest new type. Kira Yamato, coordinator U type hybrid. He is the strongest. He is God mode.
Yes, but they try to argue that this character who is utilizing abilities that are brand new, it's essentially Yoda, but a female. Brand new abilities that we don't know how they work. She is there to introduce new types properly for us and tell us what their abilities can actually do, how they can work. She's the strongest one in all of Universal Century. She's actually a recurring character throughout all of Universal Century in regards to new types and some of their abilities. She's always referenced. He's sitting there going like, she's a fucking girl boss by your standards because she's the strongest woman ever, and she can do all this stuff without ever needing training. but he's never actually seen Gundam Origins, where they established that at the beginning she was having issues with her power. She didn't know how to properly do it, and she was manipulated by Char, basically not making her a girl boss, and she ends up sacrificing herself because she was manipulated by Char because she loved Char and she went to go save Char, but at the same time was struggling due to Amuro. It's this whole thing that you have the wokies trying to come in here and say it's always been woke, and it becomes one of the stupidest, fucking, most retarded comments I've ever seen, because you're sitting there trying to say it's always been woke when they outright humanize essentially the Yahtzees. Because you gotta remember, OG Gundam is about essentially Yahtzees, and it's a World War II analogy. You have Yahtzees on one side, you have everybody else on the other side. But even the Yahtzees get humanized. That's not woke. You don't humanize the Yahtzee characters. You're not making these characters likable and
Well,
woke and content.
it's a bad argument because they like to think that we're against women. That's just a stupid argument. We're against the realism of it. Powerful women characters have always gone over well. Look at Ripley, right? We've always pointed out Ripley. Ripley was beloved. Why? Because she was a great character, but she didn't have to go kick the shit out of 13 guys at a time, right?
Nope.
This character you're talking about, you said she's psychic. That's her strength. It comes from psychic. She didn't go out and ninja fight fucking 30 guys and beat their ass. She uses her psychic abilities.
She uses her psychic abilities in a sniper style Gundam.
Yeah, so it's not that we have a problem with girl bosses. We have a problem when you give them this unrealistic. If a girl's 110 pounds, she ain't gonna kick the shit out of 12 guys who are 180 to 200 all muscle. It just doesn't happen.
Unless you're making it clear she's not quite human. She's got
exactly.
She's magical. She's got cybernetic. If it's fantasy, she's maybe got some special magical abilities, or she's got cybernetic stuff if she's science fiction. I mean,
and
if
in Gundam,
then you're fine.
In Gundam, you can actually do like girl boss motif, have a very capable, powerful Gundam pilot, because in this situation you are piloting a Gundam. You can do that. That you don't need something, but at the same time, when you do that, you have to then give them a character, give them their own flaws, give them their own situations that they struggle with, what have you. That's one of the other aspects to this. In regards to Gundam, it's never been woke. You could argue it's political, but it humanizes every political. Fucking person.
It's definitely
anti-war to an extreme degree.
Yeah.
But it humanizes every side. It makes you actually think about every side. It makes you contemplate what is actually going on here.
Dermy.
And then on top of that, every character is accounted for.
When you get to see Destiny and you get introduced to Stella, there's a female pilot, but oh my god, the tragedy surrounding her. And why she's a good pilot. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but I'm just telling you.
G Gundam.
Yeah. Well,
Gundam has tons of female pilots.
Yeah.
But they mainly focus on one, Allenby Beardsley. Allenby Beardsley can go toe-to-toe with Domon, who's the main character, the King of Hearts and everything. She's a competent, well-liked character with her own flaws and her own situations. That's not a girl boss right there.
No. And like you guys said, these people want to, first of all, they want to steal this shit from us.
Mm-hmm.
They want to steal the shit from us. They want to make it their own. They want to reshape it in their weird, perverted images. And
we've been seeing it more and more.
And then when we say, why are you doing this? They want to call us names, and they want like you. We're seeing everything we're talking about lately. They want to claim, it was always woke. Star Trek was always woke. Doctor Who was always woke. They want to break out the same old goddamn tired counter argument, which isn't even an argument. It's just them reeing at us about this. Because you notice, and I'm sure you notice, whenever you push back, they have no real argument. They have no examples. They have no defense. They just will regurgitate the same shit they always do. And then when you back them into a corner, they'll call you names and then block you or run away.
That guy that I was telling you about, trying to argue Lala was Rey Skywalker, it boiled down that he wanted to debate Star Wars. When I was like, I'm not, why do you want to debate Star Wars? Why are you bringing Star Wars into any of this? I'm talking Gundam. And then when I was giving him all of his
Retarded.
examples, he was like, "You never watched it then?" He was like, I watched parts of the original." It's like, "You watched parts. I watched the original religiously. I've watched Origins. You're going up against a big guy here."
This is somebody who they thought they're picking a fight with you on something, and they don't. It's basically walking into the ring. You think you're going to fight a jobber, but it turns out it's going to be like Hulk Hogan. Like, oh shit, you're going to lose this because you don't beat the Hulkster back of the day.
And in my video, I didn't know that. Like, my knowledge of Gundam, it's vast, but there's still tons of shit in Gundam I don't know about. I didn't know there were Zaku tanks. Like, when I saw that in the thing, I was like, "Oh, so okay." I thought it was a gun tank. I didn't know there were Zaku tanks. I said, "Oh, I didn't know this was a thing." Somebody told me, yeah, Zaku tanks were a thing.
I've seen them. I've seen images and stuff. Yeah.
I've never seen images. That's why I didn't acknowledge it. I thought, hey, this is actually a cool thing. They had to recreate a Zaku and make it, probably connect it with a gun tank. Yeah. There's probably a good reasoning on why. And it was like, no, this is the thing. Yeah. Hey, I didn't know that. And my knowledge is vast, but there's so freaking many Gundams. I can't tell if it's a fan-made thing or a real thing anymore.
You're about to. There's 100 episodes you're about to watch that you've never seen before.
There's an entire Gundam series all about pirates. And their Gundams, like, the way they tell them apart is the pirates have actual skull and crossbones on them. Like, I know this stuff. This is a world I love.
Well, again, Witch from Mercury was a disaster. I don't think it's ruined Gundam because I think right now, a lot of people there, a lot of the, let's just say, elitist Gundam parts of the community hate seed. They call it, apparently, I learned this earlier this year. They call those of us who like it, they call us seedlings in a derogatory term, and I just go, fuck you. I love it.
In the Gundam fandom, there's weirdos all over the place. There's weird.
Yeah, that's why I don't like interacting with the Gundam fandom, because they're very elitist. And every time you say something, a response I always get is, "You need to watch more Gundam." I hate that.
I'll say you need to watch more Gundam, but I'm going to say
no, but they say it. They say it in that tone that I'm talking about. As a
I know what tone you're talking about.
Yeah, it's like, you need to watch more Gundam if you think this is good. But here's the thing that is good though. Westernized Western localizers. They're crying a lot right now. Yes. Because they've just been made irrelevant. I love this right now because, listen, we all know that I go down to the beach to get my my seasonal anime. I don't do Crunchyroll. I don't wait for their officials. I do fan subbing. Fan subbing, they get it right. Sometimes there's spelling errors. Sometimes they miss a couple things there, but it's more genuine, more heartfelt than it normally is. Same with my manga. I don't read much manga. The only thing I read right now is One Piece because I gotta keep up. And oh man, they just finished Bonnie and Kuma's backstory. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. This final chapter of that just dropped today. But I used to read some stuff, and it's fan translated, and it gets it mostly right. But when you go to the professionals, the Western localizers, they love to slip in their ideology.
Oh, they love to boast about it.
And they boast about it too. And let's just say the mothership or motherships in Japan, they don't like it when you change it. So what are they doing? Oh, hey, guess what? We're just gonna feed into AI, and they're just going to translate it. You see, that's an AI thing. It's just translating it. It's just translating it. So, it's not creating anything. It's just a translation device. Do it. Fuck them.
Do it. Look, I agree with you. I legitimately agree with you on this situation. I don't know if the Bounding article covers this, but I knew the Niche Gamer version of this article actually did cover it. The company came out and said, hey, we are still using like proper translators and stuff to make sure that it's grammatically accurate, but for the most part, we're going to start using AI because the reason is they are going to be simul streaming the manga all at once. So they want to just put it out as fast as possible because they got tired of pirated copies and fake copies all going out. So they just want to put out the official copies all at once, both in Japan and in America. They're going to start doing it themselves. Hey, guess what? That's a use of AI that I can agree with. I actually kind of enjoy. And fuck you guys, because I've seen plenty of instances in which even in the manga, they're doing this shit. You had and I have an article pulled up from
Sure.
Bounding, because I do this. I'm actually gonna do an update to my video on this, but this is actually from Bounding as well, because share my screen. And the Twin Stars manga, in one of their latest chapters, they forced in
Oh
mansplaining
God,
into the
I
actual
am
manga.
so behind on Twin Star. I am so behind. I haven't read that in like 2 years.
And when you scroll down here, I don't know what it is, but you see it right there. Mansplaining. Outright.
Oh, fuck you. I loved Twin Star Exorcist is an outstanding series. You can watch the first half of the anime, and then you have to break off and switch to the manga because the anime butchered its ending. It's one of the last times, last decade, where they decided to make up their own ending. I highly recommend Twin Star Exorcist. It's fantastic. But the fact that they do that, especially in a series which has plenty of strong women, it's retarded for them to do something like that. That they have to do
So
that.
there's a new twist coming on this entire story that I'm gonna do a video on this. This is gonna be one of my 2 videos tomorrow if you share my screen. This news of localizers fucking shit up has
Asmongold.
actually
Yeah, I heard about this.
Asmongold's now getting involved because he
Yeah.
didn't know this is going on. The fact that Asmongold now knows that this is going on is actually freaking serious, because in this clip he goes this person who I don't know, who's a VTuber guy, which
means
bothers
it's a
the
fat
shit out of
dude.
me.
Fat dude.
Yes. Yes, it bothers the shit out of me. He's actually sitting there talking about the situation. Like, hey, yeah, they do this. Pulls up Dragon Maid, for example. They in the Japanese version, it's this. In the English version, it's talking about the patriarchy. And Asmongold's like, what? No. It doesn't do that. He pulls up the actual clip and it goes on the patriarchy. He's like, well, what? They're actually doing this. This is an actual thing that's going on. You're seeing Asmongold get involved. The reason why I think that's actually big is that's a big name streamer that
It's an influencer.
putting this
That's a
information out
gaming
there.
influencer.
That's a massive influencer bringing more attention to this serious issue.
Yep. I mean, it has to stop. Here's a great example, especially for dubbing. Have you watched This Is Not How You Summon a devil thing? I forget what it's called. Now, how not to summon a demon lord. How not to summon a demon lord. Have you seen that one?
I've heard about it. I haven't watched it.
Okay. When I first watched it last year, I got it, and I went. When I'm tired and I just want to relax, I know if it's something that has been out for a while, I will go to the dub because I don't want to have to stress out, or not stress out, but I don't want to have to pay too close attention and read subtitles. The dub was so god awful because they had the female characters talking California LA talk. It was god awful. So I got about 10 minutes in and I switched to the subtitles, which were saying complete different shit than what the dub was saying.
Well,
the shit's got to stop.
We've also had examples of this happening even in the subs as well. And I think I brought this up to you once before, and I'll share my screen again. But in the subtitle translations of anime that I don't suggest anybody go out and watch, unless you basically want to watch a thing all about bestiality, Western localizers brag about deliberately botching high dive English subtitles for My Life as Inukukai-san's dog. Again, this is an anime basically about a girl who wants to fuck her dog, but they blatantly change entire subtitles that mean like sure, I had to pee outside, but what else was I gonna do? She had me on a leash. They've completely changed like how things were context and stuff. They completely changed certain situations. They use 2 of the same words to describe a character.
Dude,
they use both the Japanese version and the English version to describe the same character, thinking that they are 2 separate different words.
Now, apparently, and I haven't watched it because I'm waiting for it to be done, even though I read the manga, the section of the manga arc twice. In the animated version now, they're doing the final Bleach arc, 1,000 Year Blood War. There's a whole scene in the manga involving lines about smelling jizz, and there's a moment where Now, granted, by the time we get to this point, Orihime's tits are 3 times as big as they were when the anime started, and I'm okay with that. And at one point, one of the Stern Ritter shoves her arm up between Orihime's cleavage, which is just all right there. Just shoves her arm right up between it. They edited that out of the anime without Kishimoto's permission.
You get this moment, like, okay, I
No,
got the whole
Tite Kubo, Kishimoto did Naruto without Kubo Sensei's permission. They did it without his permission. And he had a whole thing about it. I'm deeply saddened that they changed this.
So I quickly just scrolling down, I realized what I was saying was actually wrong. They substituted bimbo for Gairu
That's 2 different
because
things.
they thought they were the same thing. Because this character is supposed to be a Gairu.
That's not
who's
a
best
Gyaru.
friends.
That's a bimbo.
It's supposed to be a guy. No, this is actually how it is in the actual
have
sub.
dark skin. Gyarus have dark skin.
Well, in the Japanese, they call her the dog calls her a Gairu. Okay,
Well,
that's what you have to go with. But this is the essentially the actual subtitle from Japan. I never expected Inuku Kai-san to be friends with a Gairu. In the actual in the English subtitles, they called her a bimbo.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, a Gyaru is usually a chick who dyes her hair and gets a tan. That's usually the defining traits of a Gyaru in Japanese fiction and in reality. That just looked like a blonde-haired chick to me too. It didn't even look like a Gyaru. It's got to stop. It's got to stop.
Yeah.
And here's how we know the difference is because, as I mentioned, fan subbers get it right. They get it right. And a large majority of people know what it looks like, knows how it's supposed to look. And we can compare and contrast. And then if you get, I'm really pissed off at this. I don't even have my words. I'm pissed off at this.
I get that trying to translate from one language to another, there might be words you have to change up just because to make it understandable. But that's not the stuff that I think people have a problem with. I think they have a problem with when they change language for the political idea of it or the political purpose of it and not because of the thing. I mean, I understand if there's certain words in Japan that you just don't really have a good translation for this, or if they use the right word from here, people will be like, what do they mean? But yeah, it's a difference between changing a thing because you're trying to manipulate the audience than trying to make a good translation.
And they don't care about translation. They care about, like you just said, manipulating the audience, pushing trying to just weave the agenda in there because the general anime audience is fertile ground for their bullshit because it hasn't been touched because there's such a shield wall in Japan and by anime fans in the West. We are so resistant to this. We know what's coming. We're ready for it. And they do it like this. And this is what happens. We're ready for it. We're pointing it out and we're not going to let it happen.
Well, that goes back to like the corporatized nature I was talking about. That's becoming more of a thing. But at the same time, even the whiz media over there, even though they'll do their own woke anime with Netflix. Oh God, I watched that lesbian vampire show.
What?
Long story. Wit has a lesbian vampire anime. Trust it. Don't dig into it. It's so bad.
Never mind.
But they're not just putting in their own politics. They're outright changing context. They're changing narratives, and then even in another iteration that I also pull up here. You know what? I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna pull it up again. Don't Toy with Me, Nagatoki 2. No, I'm butchering the name again. But
I've heard of this one.
in this, I haven't watched this anime per se.
Yeah, me neither.
All I know is she's freaking out because he's gonna start using context. You see in the manga, are you trying to change your image? Gonna give up the 4-eye look and try going for a hot guy vibe? You know what? Here it is again. Are you trying to stop being a 4-eyed kid and become a hot guy? And the English sub, this is a fan sub. This is the English one. Are you trying to stop being a 4-eyed dork and become a Giga Chad?
Oh
They're getting even mad about putting memes in.
You know what
Don't
I hate?
put this stuff in. This is solely a Western idea. Is Giga Chad? All that stuff is Western.
And it's a meme. Things. It's a fucking meme too. They don't get it's a goddamn meme. And also, you just showed it there. How is it that fan subs can always make their subtitles look better than professional? They always look better. Professional
They
looks like
do.
shit. You can't see it on the screen. It blends in. It's fuck companies, man. Fuck 'em.
I'm just getting. This is what's leading to people actually wanting to get the fuck out. This is what's leading to more fan subs actually trying to do a better job and stuff.
And they do.
I don't remember if it was Carl or if it was somebody else that told me to start checking out like the Mexican fan subs or the Mexican subs of everything because it's actually a whole lot better. You then have. I've been warning about this for a while. I've been talking about this for a while. Japan was going to start doing their own localization. They were going to start doing this.
Yeah.
They have AI now to do it. Go the fuck on ahead.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I don't care who loses their jobs. I don't care if this is the instance where this is automation that's making people lose their jobs. Oh my god, we need to worry. No, fuck off. Okay.
These are the same people who need to lose their job type people who need to lose their jobs in American comics. Same type of fucking people.
Exactly. These are the people that fail upwards. These are the people that boast about fucking up our content. These are the people that decide to go out there and completely insert whatever the fuck garbage they want to do. And when they get called out, they start crying on Twitter like, I'm only human. I'm not perfect. I'm a localizer. My job is to make stuff make more context from the audience I'm doing it for. No, your job is to translate it, keep it in the same context. That's your job. Figure out what makes it make sense for American audiences. Go on with that. Don't put your own bullshit in there.
These are the people who say, I'm a really big fan of it, but I'm going to change it completely.
They will boast openly and freely and proudly about changing it. And there was one tweet. I'll pull up the Niche Gamer version because somebody decided to tweet out a whole collage of it. I can't pull up the picture very well because of how Niche Gamer does it, but there's this one guy named Chris Kinagi who works as a localizer, and he says the true joy of localization really is seeing what you can get away with.
Oh, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. What you can get away with. No, I'm coming into this because I want to see the story that I love, the characters I love, not your personal bullshit slipped in there because your girlfriend's boyfriend fucked her in the ass and you didn't. I'm not.
Well, it's more
let them all lose their jobs. Let them all lose their jobs. I don't care. These people don't deserve their jobs. They haven't done anything for entertainment. They do it for ideology.
Outright.
Screw 'em.
They don't care about what we're putting out there. They don't care about it at all. These are the same fucking people that freely went after and attacked Vic Mignogna over
You're not wrong.
bullshit. And then they're oddly enough, they're kind of silent. And I'm not saying that this anime needs to be gotten rid of or anything, but they're kind of silent about another shonen anime about eating and stuff. They had a crossover episode with Dragon Ball Z and One Piece.
Oh, I know Toriko.
Yeah, Toriko. They're more than happy to work on making Toriko and putting out Toriko and profiting off Toriko, even though the creator of Toriko openly admitted that he's done heinous things as well with minors.
Oh,
they're more than happy to profit off that and push that out there, but you go against their political ideology a little bit, become just a little bit too popular. We're gonna go against you.
Well, fuck them. We don't need them.
We don't.
I have my I guess I don't want to say favorite, but I know that what the trusted fan subbers look like at this point when I go looking for stuff. I know what the real fans look and sound like, and it's not these people. These aren't real fans. These are to connect it to what I worked on today. These are the Leslie Headlands who will walk and say, "Oh, I love the Star Wars. I love the Bleach. I love the One Piece.
I love the Doctor Who, and I'm definitely not coping that nobody's watching it.
I know. Well, that again, different discussion.
I know,
anyway,
different discussion.
All right, so that's it for my topics. Is there? I think we covered everything that we shared. You're smiling. Oh no, sorry, I was looking at the replay. That was you smiling a minute ago. I'm looking at two different windows here.
I was looking for something because there was
what?
Like Bounty Hunter Comics has been putting out great anime news, and I saw something earlier that
forget it.
Yeah, let's forget it because
Forget it. Yeah, we're 2 hours in. We should wrap it.
Yeah, we're 2 hours in. We're good. All I'm gonna say is keep on the lookout for Kaiju number 8 anime.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I would have picked that up anyway, just because it falls into the category of stuff that I automatically lock onto. All right, guys. So that's another Anime Odyssey in the books. Thank you to everybody in the chat who showed up either live or watching it on the re-upload. Hit that like button and let's go around the horn. Dermy, tomorrow night we sink the ship, don't we?
Tomorrow night we sort of sink the ship. It's gonna be a weird one. I have to fucking work Saturdays, so I'll figure this out. But yeah, we got Ball Busters tomorrow night, so come on by. We got Melee Games and Melee James we got Melee James and Melee K coming on. The Melee's coming on. And yeah, we're gonna have a fun time. Gonna have to have
Oreos
a hard
and
out
alcohol.
at midnight. So.
Oreos and
at least Oreos right
alcohol.
now. At least Oreos alcohol might have to change up a little bit. But.
Well, they're gonna drink alcohol and eat Oreos.
Yep.
It's gonna get weird. All right. Devil. Got anything going on this weekend?
Tomorrow I'm on Ballbusters. Then I got the pub. And then we got Engage on Sunday. But no get ranked. It will be back the next week. I'm still not sure what we're gonna do, but we're gonna do it. I'm thinking maybe ghost movies. And trying to reunite the original cast that did the horror movie list. Except Dermy will be on it. So
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, and there's we're gonna make sure that Paranormal Activity's on there again because I would really love to hear everyone's opinion if it's changed.
This time the struggle session will happen live. It won't happen on the replay. All right, so check out Beelzehub, everybody. Check out Dermy's site, Dermy's channel. God damn it,
Dermy's channel, who's made it to. Last I checked, let me do a refresh. I'm sitting at 1,514 subscribers.
Nice. You got over it. Excellent. I myself just crossed while we were doing this stream 2,950. 50 more to 3,000. Can we get a New Year's miracle? 3 days? I don't think so. But anyway, all right, guys. Once again, thank you everybody being here. If you're here, you know who I am, what this channel is. I am Adam the Renaissance Nerd. Reviews, pop culture takes, gaming. We're gonna have some gaming announcements very soon. Of course, at the moment, that kind of stuff is on the shelf while my building signal is shit because the wiring of my building is crap. There's nothing I can do about it. It goes through these phases. Hopefully, it rights itself the next week, and I'll be able to make the announcement that I'm planning. Otherwise, I'll be on Ballbusters tomorrow night. Saturday, no Saturday Night Drive-In, and Sunday, the Roundtable will be back. And then I will also be on Engage with Devil, with Ryan, with Samuel, with, I don't know if Anna's still on break, with Alf, who might also still be on break because his family might still be there. And with, that's all of us, isn't it? That's the entire crew. Yeah, that's the entire crew, the Current Bridge crew. It's been so long. Actually, I have to watch the episode. I haven't watched the episode yet. Usually I'm ahead of the game, but I'm not. Blame Christmas. I do. Anyway, thanks everybody. Thanks to Devil for being here. Thanks as always to Dermy for joining. And we will catch you guys next time. Until then, everybody, take it easy. Have a good night or day wherever you may be. And next month, it will be Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works TV, not movie, TV. So 25 episodes of more Fate goodness. So take it easy, everybody. Good night.